I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, back in the saddle on a Monday. Hopefully you had a great Easter weekend. We're changing things up a bit. Instead of me giving you kind of an intro to the show, we're going to roll right into our first guest, who is the voice of Formula Drift, the voice of Global Rallycross, the voice of who knows what else, Mr. Jarod DeAnda. How's everything going, Jarod?
Good, thanks, man. Yeah, great Easter, hopefully for yourself, too. Both of us Arizona residents, so glorious weather. And, dude, next weekend it starts. Like, I'm gone every weekend from here on out. I'm excited, Formula Drift, Long Beach.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's been a long off season and for Formula Drift, and talk about some big, heavy hitting announcements. Obviously, rolling into, I believe, year number 11 now, right?
Year 12.
12. I'm a year off.
04, yeah, 12. So it's crazy. I mean, gosh, we've all grown up so much.
Yeah, well, I was laughing because you were posting some pictures on Instagram. Once in a while, you post some pictures, and it'll be like pictures of you with some of the guys back when Formula D started. And I'm like, dang, Jarod looked young, man. Not that you're old, but you know what I mean. You look at yourself 10 years ago, and you're like, holy crap. And then you go and shave your beard, and I go, well, now you really look young, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I haven't shaved in like 2 years. I took it off the other day. I wasn't happy with how my beard came out, so I just took it all off. And my wife, she said it. She said, you know what, I kind of like you better with the beard. So I put it out there, and I'm stoked. So, but yeah, no, it's really cool to see not only like how much we've progressed, and like I played a Lucero record, and Lucero reminds me of this rad trip I took with the Drift Alliance guys. It's in an old DVD, Stay Hungry, and it took me back to those days of like, I think it was like 05 or 06, but talking about the guys, mentally and then physically, and then the vehicles, just the progression of everything from 04 Atlanta, like round one, like Sam Huvenet in this Dodge Viper going against Alex Pfeiffer in this Toyota Corolla, and if you're kind of a true school guy, you'll remember Alex Pfeiffer, but Vaughn Gittin Jr., Chris Forsberg, Ken Gucci, Dai Yoshihara, those are the guys that have been around for now 12 years. So it's really cool. And obviously we're creating the history of Long Beach. Every year it just gets gnarlier and crazier cars get debuted. And sometimes it's just the same car, just they've been working out like we just, you and I right before this call, we talked about working out and getting in shape, both mentally and physically. And the cars go through that as well. I mean, they go to the gym. They either cut some weight or they get some bulk, right?
Yeah. Well, and it was funny, because we, big off-season announcements. We had Tanner Faust as our guest last week on air, and Tanner, talking about his program, and he's, he's a guy that's been around Formula Drift. I mean, a lot of people forget, that, I was looking down the records. I mean, I think he's in the top 5 winningest drivers of all time in Formula D. Granted, he's taken a couple years off, but even he was talking about from when he left till now, the technology has just skyrocketed.
Yeah, he's always been an advocate of drifting, and he'll tell you he's more nervous at a Formula Drift event than he is at GRC. GRC's racing. You have an opportunity to pass, to really calculate in a racing format. In drifting, it's the last lap of every race every time. So that's a great testament, and he's a great ambassador, obviously, to drifting. So it's really cool to see him come back in a different, very unique chassis, obviously. He announced it. It's an LS-powered Passat. He's flying that Volkswagen Andretti, in GRC, but still the Volkswagen badge. And there's murmurs of who's building that vehicle. I don't know if that's public knowledge yet, but, it's cool to see him come back in the mix, in the fold.
Yeah, I know he's publicly said, and I don't know how much involved in the bill, but I do know Papadakis was somewhat involved in it. I don't know the extent, but I know Tanner actually said on air Papadakis had a hand in something developing the car.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's I put it on social media, and then I got some text like, "Oh, that's not public knowledge yet." I'm like, "Okay, all right, took it down."
Yeah.
So,
Well, it came
yeah,
straight from Tanner on air, so we can at least go that far, right?
Yeah, we'll blame him. But yeah, no, Papadakis Racing, and they came second overall in the championship last year with Frederick Osbo behind the wheel of that 4-cylinder Scion TC. So, the opportunity is there for Tanner to do well, but you have these guys, just as I mentioned, Frederick Osbo, and in my eyes, he's the guy to beat this year. I mean, he has so much talent. He's gotten a lot of wheel time. That's what I contributed a lot of success to Chris Forsberg last year. And you look at all the drivers that just get more wheel time. It's like anything. The more you do it, the more you're going to get better at it. Well, Forsberg just had so much wheel time, but now Osbo did. He's back in the same car. The car went to the gym. Osbo mentally went to the gym. He was very humble about grabbing second. Was very, proud of it and humbled by it. So now, with the target being on Forsberg's back, I think Osbo, the Norwegian Hammer, he's going for it, man.
Yeah, and I got to give Forsberg credit. I had him on air right after Long Beach last year, and there was a fire in his eyes, man, and in the way he spoke. I mean, he was on a mission last year, and I mean, he's going to be tough again this year. I think, it's shaping up to be a shootout up at the top because, I mean, Forsberg, the way he capped off last year, I mean, that guy was on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, he's always a killer. Even back, from day one, he was always, admired by other drivers. I say it, he's a driver's driver. In any sport, any motorsport, you have that guy that's the driver's driver. I think he's a driver that other drivers respect. They admire, like, the style that they have, and not only out of the car, but in the car. I'm talking about primarily because just Chris, like, I like to say he has a Japanese style with that American kick the door in, that ECFU, and you can look up that acronym, or it says it on his suit, LAMF last year. I don't know if it's going to be even, we'll see what he brings this year, but, he got a lot of seat time. He's doing all his Network A shows and all that, but, I mean, you look at the top five and you look at Von Gittin Jr., I mean, he's going to be, unfortunately, the 2015 chassis is not set up for this year of the championship, but he has his Mustang RTR Spec 2, the 2015, that's going to be on display, and it shows all his livery and everything, but he's running the same chassis. So, again, another vehicle that we saw last year coming back into competition, just going to the gym and getting leaner and meaner.
All right. Well, and I want to throw a name out there. I know it was announced, I think, like a week back, but it really, throws a wrench in, I think, in a lot of people's plans. But Mad Mike coming to a race, to drive Formula D in a few of the U.S. rounds. I mean, that's huge. I mean, he's one of the best drifters in the world,
Mike, when he came over years ago, and he's just somebody that exudes style in everything he does. If it's the emulating the sounds of engines with his mouth and using a Red Bull can, or if it's just the way he dresses and his sponsors iLab and obviously Red Bull, and he's on Nitto now, and he's just partnered with some really cool companies, and we had, a few of us, including Forsberg and Ryan Turk and Tyler McCoy, we had the opportunity, and Matt Powers as well, had the opportunity to go to New Zealand last year, and I've known Mike for some years. Him coming back to Formula Drift in the U.S. isn't just important for the U.S., but it's also important internationally because he just does have a really cool style. I mean, you saw when he announced it, there were murmurs of him coming and bringing what he calls Rad Bull, which is a twin-turbo, 4-rotor MX-5. Let's call it the Miata. But, with the anniversary of the MX-5, it's a big thing. So he's going to have styles for miles. He's going to have this crazy power plant, and he's going to be Mad Mike. And that space, that demographic, he's kind of a bro. He's like a bro, New Zealand, Kiwi, breakdancer. You kind of throw anything at him, he could do it, if it's BMX or skateboarding or whatever. He's a fun-loving dude. So when the announcement came out, you saw a lot of the fans say, "Thank you, Mad Mike," because they just like his style. And he's won champion. I can't remember how many in D1NZ and D1NZ in New Zealand. He's really made a name for himself. So it's great to see him come back here. And when he got the best-looking car when he competed here in the States last time, he got an award at the banquet. He says, "Guys, I just want to let you know, thank you so much. I'm really honored. But as good as the car looks, it always looks better atop the podium. I'm going to come for you guys." And unfortunately, some things didn't happen. He didn't come back the last season, the season after that. But now he's back, and he thinks he has a competitive, chassis. But regardless, you have to win in the paddock, and you have to win the fans over before you even start competing, because that's really just going to garner a lot of attention and gain the respect of other drivers.
Yeah. Well, and talking about him, I know last time he ran, he was up front and said, hey, the car looked great, but it was really just basically a street car that they put a bunch of bolt-on modifications to. He's like, it wasn't a true drift car. And like you said earlier, I mean, this time he's coming with a legit competitive car, and I think that's going to be the big difference. And I know he said he wouldn't come back to the States until he knew he could be competitive up front.
It's cool to see all the resources that everybody's sharing online. Mike can go online and like I said, he has now, gained the respect of other drivers, it be a Rotary or whatever, fans around the world, and they're, stoked. They might just like his style, might like his wife Tony, might like his kid Lincoln or whatever, but they're willing to share resources and information, because obviously with somebody like him and being an ambassador of drifting, and that's, he went to Goodwood, Festival of Speed, and tore it up. And the Duke, let him tear up the lawn. I know Ken's been there, so there's been some big names and stuff like that. But he went there, and that was the first time drifting was at Goodwood in that form, like a Formula Drift spec car, and they loved it. So he's going back. He's actually, unfortunately, missing a round. I believe he's missing New Jersey, unfortunately, and he's missing Long Beach. So you bring up his name, but unfortunately, with all the you can't get the cars in at the harbor, and it was too late for air freight, and that's, I don't know if people know, but it's really expensive to ship a car via air. So unfortunately, he won't be at Long Beach competing. I don't even know if he's coming in person to watch. I mean, it'd be my recommendation to spectate and see, your competition. But fortunately, we do have a live stream, so he can watch from the home. So I'll give him a shout out and look forward to seeing him at round 2 Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, and talking about, the live stream and Formula Drift and globally, I know this year the launch of the World Championship, I mean, this is something we've all been waiting for. We've heard about it for a year now. I mean, what do you expect out of this World Championship? I mean, I know talking with Turk late last year, he says, it's going to be a select group of guys who actually go and try and attack this World Championship. But, I mean, what's your take on this? I mean, this is huge for drifting as a sport globally.
Yeah, I think over the last 6 years, Formula Drift has made the presence felt as a sanctioning body. And I say that, basically it's kind of loaded, where the drivers have made the Formula Drift be an opportunity around the globe. Formula Drift is the platform and the vehicle of professionalism to take drifting to the world, right? So either be live stream or television or interviews or whatever. It's the platform of which professional drifting can grow. The Formula Drift over the last 6-7 years has myself, I've been to Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand. We just launched in Japan last year, 2 rounds. And man, the last one at Okayama was just incredible. Such a rad track. Loved it. Good driving, good diversity. You had Osbo in the mix and Ken Gushi's out there. And you see some of the drivers come from the States over there. Now where the World Championship is we're going to have another round in Canada up in Montreal at St. Eustache, which is it's almost their Irwindale up in Montreal. And then we go back to Japan. That is another international round. There's 3 international rounds. And then finally, it's a qualifying round where, Ryan Sage can touch on this more, but basically I can't remember the exact number of drivers that will be invited and transported to China for the first ever Formula Drift China. So it's an accumulative point system where basically if, you qualify in, you'll be invited to China, you go to China. So, and you need to make, in order to be running for the World Championship, you could just do one Canada and then do Formula Drift US. So it's a whole mathematical equation, but it's cool just to show you that, and this is, I think, just a teaser of what to expect, because, now we went through our interim year of Pro 2 because we have Pro 2, Pro-Am, and you could have run both last year, Pro 2 and Pro, and now we've kind of nipped that in the bud, and now it's really segregating kind of that those classes. So kind of a lot of information out there, but what's great is all of it's at formula.com, and and Jim, you and I spoke, and stoked to hear that Ryan Sage is willing to knowledge share all his information. Being in the office, vice president and co-founder of Formula Drift, he's going to have a lot of information over the next few events.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at Long Beach, man, this is a big one. It's the one we wait for all year. It's the kickoff. I mean, what do we expect out of Long Beach? I mean, what are your predictions? I mean, it's a crazy track. I mean, super tight. We got barricades. And you always see somebody clipping the concrete walls. I mean, don't predict a winner, but I mean, what do you think we're going to see at Long Beach, man?
Crashes. We're going to see some crashes. I mean, fans. Unfortunately, they expect it. They kind of want it. You don't want anybody to get hurt, obviously, but that's inevitable. I mean, it's almost comical to me. Like, all right, guys, got this off season, sweet build, from SEMA, because we end our season second weekend of October. We have, November, December, January, February, March, April. I mean, what's that? Terrible math. 6 months or so,
yeah.
Right? To build your car, you go to SEMA, you talk to your sponsors, you negotiate deals, you do some off-season promotion. You're, enjoying your family over Christmas and the New Year's and obviously Easter and now and partying up in St. Patty's, and then boom, let's go into Long Beach. The absolute gauntlet, like unforgiving track of any of them, and a car can be written off as soon as it was finished. And but also it makes for some incredible driving and spectacle of dragging that, as you said, bumper on the wall. Getting under that bridge, that iconic bridge now, and then that big sweeping, and then the hairpin. So I guarantee crashes, and I guarantee a sold-out crowd, and I guarantee a good time. And Friday's always casual Friday, so if you can skip work or skip school, it's turn 9, 10, 11. If you don't know, Formula Drift, it's this weekend. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a hype man, but that's what I am. You and I both, right, Jim? I mean, you actually don't just talk about it, you be about it. I just talk about it. You actually race. I don't. So... But yeah, this weekend again, Friday, it's casual Friday, but then Saturday's the all killer, no filler. That's head to head. There's no Pro 2, the whole 9. So
yeah, and if they can't make it out the track, you guys always kill it on the live stream. I mean, I log on, because I'm like you, I'm traveling around, and I would be at every Formula D event if I wasn't, working other weekends and stuff like that. But you guys kill it on the live stream. I mean, I tune in, and sometimes you see 150, 200,000 people tuned in. I mean, it's crazy numbers you guys are pulling.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great, and just like the cars and even my announcing, it's gotten better over the years. Nor am I perfect, nor can I make everybody happy. I screw up. I'll put that out there too. That's guaranteed. I will screw up. I might mispronounce the name. I might mess something up. I might say the wrong engine. I'll just tell you that. But again, guaranteed an awesome time. And the live stream is really transparent. We want to educate the fans. We used to talk to the judges. We kind of eliminated that, and Ryan grabs the knowledge and shares it with the fans because, let's be honest, they need to focus on judging. It's the most, undeniably the most thankless job in the Formula Drift world is being a judge. So getting up there and getting in their head, seeing their perspective, those judges have their one POV and obviously utilizing cameras, but the live stream, it's really transparent. You can watch it from start to finish, from qualifying to a little bit of practice, to obviously head-to-head. And with the progression of the sport, the live streams progressed, and we're taking strides to make it better and better. Including we switched channels. We're now on CBS Sports. That's another media outlet that we're pushing towards. So we've announced multiple episodes on CBS Sports, and all the information on that is found on FormulaD.com as well.
Yeah, awesome. All good things. Before we let you go, I got to ask you one thing. I know, you filled your off season. I guess off season, never an off season for an MC, but you filled your off season with some Red Bull Crash Dice. I got to ask you, how was that? Because that looks insane.
It was fun, man. I mean, I've been fortunate. As I say, I'm Switzerland. I'll announce. I know you have a daughter. If a birthday party or something, if there's a costume you want me to wear, I'm down. But no, joking aside, yeah, it's great to work with, such cool companies that do progressive events, and including Monster, including all the energy drinks. But Red Bull has done a great job with, linking up with some really unique, properties. And the Crashed Ice, totally spaced on it, Ice Cross downhill skating sanctioning body. So Red Bull Crashed Ice is a deal, and it was really cool. I had the opportunity to do the first round and the final round. And I say the final round because within those 4 main rounds of Red Bull Crashed Ice, they also had what's called the Riders' Cup. So I kicked it off in St. Paul, which had, they said, I believe 140,000 people in front of St. Paul Cathedral, which is insane, and it was awesome. And they said it was nice weather. It was 30, so for a boy from the West Coast, it was okay. It was tolerable. And then we rounded up in Edmonton, and that was cool for the first time there because it's been in Quebec for 9 years. But these guys are, they're similar to drifters. They want it. They want to win the championship. It's about the glory and some coin and making it sustainable. And there's some professional, ice crossers, and their build is unique, like drift cars. You get these LS powered S13s or these kind of things. It's not about bulk. It's not about being a hockey player. It's this kind of CrossFit type athlete that does well. So it's very, very comparable to drifting. We have, you need the power plant, but you need the speed, you need the nimbleness. So it's, using some drifting analogies here of their vehicles to a person's body. It was fun, man. It was a cool party. It's a unique sport. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. And obviously, that all came about doing Red Bull Frozen Rush. That was a rad event. Obviously, you're familiar with the truck world. And then they said, hey, man, you want to do Crashed Ice? I said, sure. So it was a cool opportunity. It was fun.
Very cool. Yeah, good stuff. And, we're going to see, Formula Drift, see you doing some GRC stuff this year. Sounds like you're going to have, like you said, it all kicks off in Long Beach this weekend, and, and then it's all downhill from there, right?
Yeah, downhill, uphill, sideways, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, it's cool. I mean, there's a few things I'm doing this year, and I'm proud to be aligned with, and that's obviously Formula Drift, 7 rounds domestically. All of it can be found at FormulaD.com. And I understand, Jim, you're on the official media partner deal, and we're looking forward for, drivers, content, information, both, from the drivers, from Ryan Sage, from myself. Anytime you need me here, I'm here for you. Again, you're an advocate and ambassador of all things, down and dirty, obviously, but action sports, motorsports. But, yeah, Formula Drift, GRC, 12 rounds. And then, even in a couple weeks after this, we will at the Long Beach Grand Prix, we do have another drift competition Saturday night, the Super Drift Challenge.
Yeah, KMC Wheels puts that on, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They switched sponsors there because it wasn't regular. Now they're really promoting KMC. You'll even see that on Osbo's car. But yeah, and then Street Driven Hyperfest, Virginia International Raceway. That's after that. And then obviously round 2 of Atlanta. I mean, dude, the list goes on. For I hate to self-promote, but for any information, obviously you can go to Jim's site, but myself, at Jarod DeAnda on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Formula D and all that stuff. If you're listening, and love to give you even more down and dirtier stuff, but truth is, right now it's a clean slate for Formula Drift, and I'm looking forward to showing up. I'll be down there Thursday, checking out the cars. Friday, it's go time. Saturday, we're going to have a leader in the championship when it comes to, before the sun sets, we will have a new leader in the 2015 Formula Drift Championship, which is cool. So I'll see you guys at the Pike afterwards, too, over there on Chariot 4th. We can party over there.
All right. Sounds good, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time to call in, and I'm sure our paths will cross a few times this year, and cold ones on me first time they do, buddy.
Oh, dude, of course. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you, Down and Dirty fans, and I'll see you guys in Long Beach. Send it.
All right. Thanks, buddy. All right, that was Jarod DeAnda, your voice of Formula Drift. Those of you tune into the live stream over there on FormulaD.com, all kicking off at Long Beach this weekend. It's the big one this weekend, Long Beach Grand Prix. Well, not Long Beach Grand Prix, but Formula Drift at Long Beach is going to be a good one. Tanner Fausch is going to get to see that brand new Volkswagen Passat 900 horsepower. He's going to be doing it to it. Chris Forsberg, Osbo, Turk, Vaughn, Die. I mean, it's going to be a wild one, man. This is the one I get excited for. I look forward to. It's all going down Long Beach this weekend. If you're in the LA area, no excuse. Get down there, watch it. It's going to be an epic event, as it always is. Man, looking forward to it. And those of you like me, I'll be calling Terracross up there in Colorado. And I got to tell you, fans at home, you got lots to do. You need dual computer screens. You got to have Winter Terracross going on one computer screen. Other computer screen, you got to have Long Beach Formula Drift. No excuses, man. I got your weekend planned for you. Terracross, Long Beach, Formula Drift, man, it's going to be a good weekend for you guys. I guess grab a 6-pack of your favorite energy drink or your favorite beer and pony up to the computer, because it's going to be a wild Friday and Saturday coming from Terracross and Formula Drift. But Jarod DeAnda, a good friend of mine, local Arizona boy, and we do a lot of event announcing together and things like that, and actually traveled with him a few times to some Red Bull GRC events, and hopefully we'll get to call a few of those races together this year here once again, but always a good guy, great ambassador for all things Formula Drift and Action Motorsports, and he's become a good friend of mine, and definitely he posts up some cool stuff. Give him a follow on Instagram. Always got some cool content coming from Jarod DeAnda. But this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and man, we kicked things off with Jarod today. He was hanging out on the line, and we kicked things directly off, but this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Got to thank General Tire, KMC Wheels. We got to thank Gibson Exhaust, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School, all of our partners. Didn't get to those plugs as we rolled into the show because we had Jarod hanging out. But Mad Mike Drift coming back to Formula D, Tanner Faust. Man, it's an exciting one. And if you're listening to this show, obviously you're an off-road fan, you're a rally fan. Chances are you're a Formula Drift fan. I mean, Supercross, they all go hand in hand. And Mad Mike, I mean, we talked about him, but you're talking about a former motocross guy, FMX guy, turned drifter, got hurt on his bike, decided, hey, I need something with a cage. Drifting caught his eye, and he just kills it. So, these motorsports, they all go hand in hand. But today's show, man, we got coming up here in just a few minutes after the break. We're going to have Jason Caber from the Desert 100. We're going to have an interview with him that will be airing. Also, we got some Polaris Razor UTV news. We got a Dirtfish Rally report, lots of WRC news. Also, got some interesting news coming out of Score. And then Ami Houde, she's hanging out and holding down the last half hour of the Down and Dirty Radio Show today, and it's going to be a great one. We got some interesting topics to talk about with Ami Houde because obviously no Supercross happening this weekend, so lots of interesting topics. You're definitely going to want to hang out for that. But if you got any questions for Amy, any questions for me, we're rocking and rolling. Got some open time today, so love to get some of your questions in. Shoot them over to me at JimBeaver15, and we'll definitely get you dialed in with those questions on air. But we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to have Jason Caber with the Desert 100 right after this. So thanks for staying tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. We're rolling on KMC Wheels and got to welcome Gibson Exhaust into the family. And you just heard that awesome Gibson Exhaust segment there and or commercial spot during the break. Definitely check out Gibson Exhaust on the web. Whether you got a UTV, you got a Jeep, a truck, a Mustang, a hot rod, Gibson Exhaust can get you squared away with an all-new exhaust system, mufflers, catbacks, headers, you name it, Gibson can get you handled, so definitely check them out. And did want to mention, Jared kind of alluded to it because we were working on something with Formula D, but we are officially a media partner of Formula Drift for 2015. So worked out an agreement with Formula Drift, and should be great for all parties. So all 7 rounds, domestic rounds. Every time there's a Formula Drift event, the Monday after, expect like a 20-minute segment on Formula Drift, a recap. We're going to have some of the winning drivers pop into that segment here and there, and then we're also going to have Ryan Sage from Formula Drift or somebody within the series. They're going to be calling in and kind of recapping everything that happened in Formula Drift. So Formula D been a big part of this radio show for the past couple of years. Obviously, guys like Vaughn Gittin Jr., Chris Forsberg, Ryan Turk, Frederick Osbo, Jarod DeAnda, they've all been They've all been, really supportive of this radio show and, stoked to finally be an official media partner of Formula Drift. So it should be cool. Expect a lot of similarities to what we do with Red Bull Global Rallycross, where we always have winning drivers and competitors on air after the events, and Chris Leone calls in. And so expect a lot of synergies, similar to what we do with Red Bull GRC. But very excited about that and to help, the sport of drifting and Formula Drift specifically grow. But yeah, it's been a great show so far. Anytime you can get Jarod DeAnda on air, it's fun. I mean, I've had the opportunity to host with him Red Bull GRC events in the past multiple times, and he's become a great friend of mine. And and the guy, he's always traveling on the mic, and just a solid dude. And he's done some stuff for Score, Red Bull GRC, Formula Drift. Obviously, he's worked with Red Bull. He's done Frozen Rush. Just a good dude, and you never know what motorsport event he's going to pop up at next. That's for darn sure. But right now, we've got an interesting interview I'm going to air for you here. Jason Caber with the Desert 100. I'm going to kind of give you a preview because a lot of you may not be familiar with the Desert 100, but our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School up there in Washington, sponsors of the Desert 100. It is one of the biggest motorcycle races in the United States. Desert motorcycle race, 100-mile race that happens in Washington, literally over 1,000 entries into this motorcycle race, and it's I don't want to say a smoke bomb start because it starts with a cannon, but it's a land rush start. And literally 3/4 of a mile long is the start line. They have 1,000 riders lined up, and they all try and funnel into a corner a mile away that's 20 feet wide. It's just absolutely crazy. You can run a Google search, YouTube, and see the start and these bikes. It's just absolute chaos. Very unique event. One of the biggest motorcycle events in the U.S. It's up in Washington, so you don't hear a lot about it, especially for us down here in the Southwest. But this is a major event, and we had the marketing and sponsorship director from the Desert 100 able to record an interview with me. That event happening this coming weekend, so you're definitely going to enjoy this. It was a lot of fun, and this is Jason Caber. All right, we are joined on the line by Jason Caber with the Stump Jumpers Desert 100 coming up this weekend. How's everything going, Jason?
Fantastic. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me on your show today.
Oh, no, I appreciate it, man. I know you guys, with a big race coming up, things got to be a little crazy there in Washington. I know this is, honestly, one of the biggest motorcycle events of the year, I think, in the entire country.
You can put it that way. I don't have any, there's a lot of great races throughout the nation. But yeah, we do have a huge attendance and a big race field for sure. No problem with that.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about Desert 100. From what I understand, this is a 45th anniversary of this event. I know a lot of people like me. I mean, I wasn't really exposed to this race until just a few months ago, and I started looking into it and went, oh, wow. I mean, this is a huge event up there in Washington. I mean, draws people from all over the country in to run this event. Kind of tell us a little bit about the history for people who maybe aren't aware of it.
Yeah, no, this race started in 1970 by the Stump Jumper Motorcycle Club. And it was, initially designed just to support the club and support the sport within our community. And thankfully, we were able to keep it going all these years. And it's grown into, definitely a destination event for a lot of the Northwest families and racers of our community.
Well, in this race, a little bit unique. Obviously, 100 miles. I know a lot of our listeners from the Southwest are like, "There's desert up there in Washington. What are we talking about here?" But 2 50-mile laps, and it's a little bit interesting. From what I understand, land rush start, and literally the start line, like 3/4 of a mile long? I understand.
Yeah. So that's the exciting bit of the whole weekend. It's like the Super Bowl part of it, where we get about, on average, as of the last few years, we've had 1,000+ racers up on that line. And it does extend 3/4 of a mile. And it's definitely not the straightest line as we like, but we launched the race off with a cannon as well. And in years past when I race it, you sometimes hear the cannon before you see it, and sometimes you see it before you hear it. But nonetheless, we've got about 30 to 40 volunteers on that line, and just to keep people from rushing it, because once somebody runs, it goes. But nonetheless, the bikes are all lined up. We hand out little temporary kickstands, which are just sticks, for the start, and then we push the riders back about 50 feet. When they hear that cannon, they got to run to the bike, hop on it, start it, and then blaze across about a mile of just basic terrain. And for a spectator, it's just unreal, because you're at the other side of basically that 1 mile stretch, and you see about 1,000 bikes coming over this hill. And they're all gunning for this 20-foot wide opening between two American flags. And we've got this, obviously we got a barrel full of tires on fire, and that's what they're headed for, and that's how they know to get there. And then, sure enough, they all get through it, and they all head out onto the course.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, the race literally could be won or lost in that first mile, right?
Yeah. So, for the Desert 100, it means a lot to everybody that's racing it. And it means something different, I should say. But literally, if I had to guess, there's about 100 guys out there that will either want to win their class or win the race overall. And everybody else is out there for a different reason. They want to beat their brother. They want to beat their dad. They just want to finish. So getting that finish line shirt saying that I completed the Desert 100 is truly a lot of targets, the main target for a lot of riders out there. It's a non-purse race, so that's a huge reason why you don't hear a lot about this race. Is it's all bragging rights, and it's a family event. It's gigantic. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and talking a little bit about, the event and in the family atmosphere and bragging rights. I mean, I'm sure, it's been going on for 45 years. I'm sure there's got to be some pretty cool interest stories where, Grandpa originally did it and then his son, and you've got generations of racers and probably all competing at the same time now, huh?
Yes. So we have a few gentlemen that have raced every race.
Oh, wow.
Maury Edwards is one of our sponsors, as well as he's raced every race. Last year was his last year to race. And, he's come close to winning it. His whole family's been doing it. So there's a lot of those stories out there in the crowd of people that have just been coming year after year. And every year it's different. The weather's different. The track's different. It has different challenges every year, and that's why people come back, and it's just a grand time.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I thought was interesting, and you were saying, 1,000+ guys lined up on the start line. A lot of these events like this, it's a mix of now, you've got motorcycles, you've got ATVs, you've got UTVs, and this, I mean, you guys have kept it like it was in the beginning. It is motorcycles only.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's always been our mantra to keep this kind of just a motorcycle only event. I myself, as a sponsorship director, I've tried to push limits here and getting different demo events up there. And every time we try to do it, either the insurance companies are no, or basically the founding fathers are just like, no, we're going to keep it as motorcycles. And it's really benefited the community for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Odessa, Washington, and you're bringing 1,000+ racers and their families and stuff to an area. It's definitely got to have a huge economic impact on that area.
Yeah, so on average, our race brings in about 5,500 to 6,000 people to attend the race. So over the weekend, they'll start trickling in on Thursday, and they'll be there till some don't get out there until Monday. And, the town is very appreciative. We're very appreciative of the town. We have 2 other events we hold there during the year, which are smaller off-road races. And it's really become a great relationship with the community. And we give a lot of resources back to the community there with their different funds. And we support, we help with the college funds for some of the students. We do, we give back to the food bank. We run a food drive during the event. They've got a number of different avenues for us to give back to the community. We do, and it's just reciprocal. I mean, it's just great, and it's a good little town.
Awesome. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm going, I'm still caught up on this Land Rush start, and I'm like, man, there's. Do you guys have any aerial footage? I mean, whether it be drone or a helicopter, something hovering over the start and everybody going in that first corner? Because I'm thinking viral video stuff right there. I mean, that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, we do. So, easily found is on YouTube, the Desert 100 or Odessa Desert 100. There's just years of footage there. And then last year we did have some drones. We do have some resources I can send you as far as that aerial footage. But this year especially will be interesting because a local helicopter company has solicited us to be a vendor out there. So if you get to the race, you'll be able to take a helicopter ride. I don't know where else in the world you can take a helicopter ride for $35 and see the entire course and quite possibly see one of the practice starts or the poker run starts, I should say.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty cool. So, in addition to the race, quite a few ancillary events then it sounds like with the poker run and a lot of other stuff going on too, right?
Yeah, so the poker run, we get, out of the 5,500 people on the weekend, we get 4,500 on a bike during the weekend. So 3,500 of them go out on the poker run, which is Saturday. It's pretty much an all-day event. The kids' race is Saturday afternoon. With the poker run, there's the family poker run, 30-mile loop. And then with the Ironman poker run, it's more of a 70-mile loop. And there's a hot dog checkpoint sponsored by Oberto sausages, and we give out about 2,000 sausages, and we cook them, and we provide that checkpoint, and it's a fantastic time. I mean, that's really a huge draw for us. And then in the afternoon, we do the award ceremonies, and we give away a ton of stuff from all of our sponsors.
Yeah, and speaking of sponsors, I mean, I was looking at a lot of the event flyers and the website and stuff like that recently, and you guys have definitely brought in a ton of sponsorships for this event.
Yeah, over the last few years, we've been getting some more recognition, and we've been really kind of just trying to get the word out that we exist. And the race itself, with the amount of participants, we're not really looking for that. We'd love to have more people come, but that's not an initiative for us. For us, it's just getting the word out to say that this race exists and we need to have more races like this. But like Kenda Tires and Yamaha and Dirt First Rally School, and I was a sponsor of yours, they've really stepped up. And Oberto's been a long time sponsor with this hot dog checkpoint. Bell Helmets and Duval Racing. Kimco's been a long time sponsor. Another great sponsor of ours is SS Shades. They also run Pro Wheel, and then Climb, and then Dirt Tricks. They're always great to have. They make the best sprockets, and then of course TBT suspension. Some of the same sponsors that a lot of the National Hair and Out guys run, but we're really, really thankful to have such a great group of sponsors. I mean, we have a lot more local dealers. This year we're going to have 43 vendors on site. That's really where the support comes in for this event. Without those vendors and sponsors, we really would have a tough time putting this together.
Yeah, well, and some of the listeners, we've got a lot of listeners from up in Washington area, and it seems like Washington just a great spot for outdoors, whether it be rally or motorcycles. So we've got a lot of listeners from that area of the country. I mean, anybody listening in that wants to come out. I mean, it's 50-mile loops. I mean, lots of terrain. I'm assuming lots of places to spectate.
Yeah. So over the weekend, basically the event area is held in a 1 square mile area. So even if you just come out for the weekend, you'll be able to ride around in that square loop on your bike, go out on the actual course on the poker run. And then during the race, you obviously get to see the start because that's right at the main pit area. And then throughout the day, you can migrate around the perimeter of the course using the roads, and you can actually see a lot of the race from the side of the road. Some interesting points. We have a couple road crossings. And as the 50-mile loop gets completed, you come back into the pits. Now, the pits are amazing, too, because the pits are literally 1.5 miles long. And to see the wave of bikes come through and get pitted and take off, it's a lot of fun. That's quite a sight in and of itself.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine, with 250-mile loops, everybody goes off and it's chaos off the start. They file into that first corner, and everybody back at the pits, the anticipation to see the first bike pop through, to finish their first lap has to be just, everybody, just waiting. I can just imagine that,
It is, because you really don't get to see them until they're about a half mile away when they come back through. So the anticipation is huge. And then for the rider as well. So as a rider, you're coming into a 1.5 mile long pit. Obviously, the guys that have seasoned pros at this, they have giant flags sticking up or something really recognizable so they can get right to their pit and take off. But as a fast racer, I understand you're trying to find your pit guy standing there with your gas. It could be a little challenging as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, I can only imagine, it's like picking out a needle in a haystack almost, with 1,000 different pit crews there and trying to figure out which one is yours and everybody probably dressed similarly,
Yeah. No. It's a little bit of a zoo there, but it gets done. People have a good time. But yeah, changing out your filter, filling up your fuel and getting some more water and some goggles and making sure you got fresh tires if you can. Or make sure that your tires are good. Those are the standard stuff that they usually try to figure out.
Awesome.
At the pit point.
Well, for anybody that wants to find out more information on the event, give us a shout out, your social media, your website, where they can go and find some more info, and maybe we can get some more Down Under Radio Show listeners out there to support you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to bring out that it takes 200 volunteers, both club members. And our race chairman, Mike Decker, and our co-chairman, Jason Wolberding, put in, almost a full-time job throughout the year to put this race on. So they really get the award here for putting this on. And then having, 13 different classes. I mean, this and all the checkpoints out there, these volunteers are really what make this race happen. And we're really happy to have them. And it's the most important part of this race is having those volunteers. And the club members come out every year to put this on.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely got to be a huge undertaking with this many motorcycles, and I can only imagine trying to wrangle 1,000+ riders and keep them all in line.
Yeah, no, it's a great community. There's a lot of self-policing, so to speak, with that many people. We don't really ever have any issues there, and we do provide a giant beer tent for the evening attraction. And it's got a band and so forth, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, for more information, we have 2 sites. Obviously, you can go to our stumpjumpers.org for the club membership and information about a club, and then for the race, it's the Desert 100, Stump Jumpers Desert 100. And both of those sites are linked together. So for more information, you can check that out. We have a Facebook page for the Desert 100 as well. There's a ton of footage on YouTube. Those are all great resources. The weekend dates, you can get there on Friday, which is the 10th, and it goes all the way through the 12th. There will be stuff going on. We're also, one other thing I want to mention is we're going to have Yamaha out there doing demos this year. And then the Dirtfish Rally car will be out there to do a little expose. And they're going to lead our racers out to the racetrack, or the start line, I should say. And that's going to be impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like if you're in the state of Washington, next weekend, there's only one thing you should be doing, and that's definitely going out to the Desert 100, right?
Pretty much we get everybody interested in off-road. That's where they'll be this weekend.
All right.
Or this coming weekend, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to phone in, Jason. I know, obviously, with the event coming up, awful busy, but looking forward to seeing the recap and seeing who can actually pull this off and come home with a win.
Yeah, we're really excited to see that because a lot of our pastime winners are either they have another conflicting race, or they're injured. So it could be a local guy this year, and that would be really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely be cool to get somebody from the local area, wearing the crown this year.
Yes, it would.
All right. Well, thank you, Jason, and we'll catch up soon, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Anytime.
Take care, and great job on the show.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, that was Jason Kaber with the Stump Jumpers Desert 100 motorcycle event. As you can tell from him talking about it, man, talk about an epic motorcycle event. And like I said, you got to check out those YouTube videos of the start. This thing is absolutely heinous, man. I don't know. I love riding dirt bikes, but I got to tell you, I'd probably be a bit of a wuss, man. I think I'd stand back and let everybody go and let the carnage and the pileup happen, and then I think I'd jump on my bike and pass the bodies laying in the dirt. I don't know, but just an awesome event, and looking forward to seeing how this thing goes off. And like I said, once again, our friends at Dirtfish Rally School, big partner in that up there in Washington. If you're up there in Washington, definitely sounds like a good time. Head out, and even if you don't want to race, just take your bike and go on the poker run and cruise. I mean, it sounds like it'd be a good time for sure. But yeah, it's been a great show so far. Jarod DeAnda, we just had Jason Kaber. And we are rocking and rolling here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's going to be some Polaris RZR UTV news. We got the Dirtfish Rally Report still on tap. Got some Score Baja Sur news, and then capping off the show in hour number 2, Ami Houde. She's back in the house once again on a Monday, and she's going to bring us home in the last 30 minutes of the show, and lots of good stuff still on tap. You definitely want to stay tuned. And who knows what could happen on the Down and Dirty Radio Show? You know, we like to run a loose format here, and the tides can change and stuff can happen, and you never know when it is here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. But once again, if you have any questions for me or any of our guests coming up, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, shoot me over those questions, and we'll definitely get them asked, whether they're for Amy, myself, on Formula Drift Long Beach, the Desert 100, Score, Desert Racing, Rally, I don't care. Bring it at me, shoot, and we'll definitely get to it. But we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have some Polaris RZR UTV news and a Dirtfish Rally Report coming right at you. This is Jim Beaver, and this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer. Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and been a fun show so far. Jason Caber with the Desert 100, my good friend Jarod DeAnda, the voice of Formula Drift. He was previewing Formula D 2015, and I got to tell you, it's going to be an exciting series this year. And Long Beach all happens this weekend. And as well as Long Beach, we've got Winter Terracross we're going to get into in just a minute in our Polaris RZR UTV report. But been a great show. Also want to make mention, I have got a lot of tweets. I've got direct messages on Facebook. I've got all kinds of people wanting to know what this new General Tire is. They saw, I believe maybe Ryan Beat ran it at the race at Elsinore on his General Tire truck. But General Tire, they do have a new off-road tire. It's coming out. All the info, it's not top secret. It's out there. They posted pictures of it on their social media. They actually have sizes
of the sizes that it's going to be available in on the General Tire website, generaltire.com. But it is called the General Tire Grabber MT. It is a mud terrain, aggressive type tire. It is not the red label grabber like you see on my trophy truck, but it is a new aggressive tread pattern. It's different than the AT2, the all-terrain tire, more aggressive than that, but it's not quite, I wouldn't say it's quite the red label grabber like I run on my trophy truck. It's definitely an awesome looking tire. I can't wait to get my hands on a set, to be honest with you. But it's it's going to be a great addition to the General Tire product line, and I know there's been a ton of interest. A lot of you have been sending me messages, tweeting. I probably should address this. It's not top secret, though. It is being released. I don't know when it's going to be available. GeneralTire.com is your source for all that information, but when I do get information on the MT, I promise you I will pass it along. But it is definitely a very cool tire, and thanks for your interest in General Tires and letting me know. We'll definitely pass the info along to General Tire and the folks there, and make sure they get out some more information on it. But yeah, it is coming along, and sooner rather than later. The pictures are out there, the sizes are out there. It's a done deal. It's coming. The General Tire MT. So yeah, that leads us right into some Polaris UTV news for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Polaris. Find out more information on the web at Polaris.com. Also, our presenting sponsor of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I got to say, those Polaris RZRs, if you haven't driven one yet, you are missing out. Tons of fun to be had in a Polaris RZR. And right now, you can get one of those Polaris RZRs pretty darn cheap. They've got their XP sales event going on right now. Up to $1,400 in rebate and 1.99% financing on a new RZR or Ranger. Definitely check that out. All the info over at Polaris.com, or check out your local Polaris dealer. Join the likes of me, R.J. Anderson, Mitch Guthrie, Levi LaValle, Ronnie Renner, Bryson Menzies. We're all wheeling and sporting RZRs, and you should be too. But right now, big event this weekend. The next, I guess, big Polaris RZR event, it's called Winter Terracross, and it's debuting at Crested Butte, Colorado this weekend. It's tied into the Ultimate Snowmobiler National event. This is going to be an event of epic proportions, and yours truly will be there. I have been pegged as the host of the event. So those of you live are going to get to hear there in person, going to get to hear me on the microphone. Those of you at home, you're going to get to watch me on the live stream. So if you're interested in Terracross, Winter Terracross, it's all going down this weekend, Crested Butte, Colorado. Now, a lot of you know Terracross, the series. I'm going to be racing in it this year. But you know the series because guys like LaValle, RJ, Jeremy McGrath, Jason Ellis all raced it. It's kind of a cross between, I would say, Global Rallycross, maybe Lucas and Torque, and Endurocross, but it's all for Polaris RZRs, spec RZRs, and they race on these crazy tracks, and it's a ton of fun and some wild racing action. First time ever, they're bringing Winter Terracross to the snow and ice. You're going to be allowed to run studded tires, and it's going to be crazy. I mean, jumps, all kinds of turns, a mix of conditions with the snow and ice, all at a ski resort in Crested Butte, Colorado. You're going to want to watch the live stream if you can't make it out. It's going to be crazy. Two classes. We've got production 1000s and open 1000s. Traditionally, it's closed in for just Polaris RZRs, but since this is Winter Terracross and not the Terracross Championship, they're opening up to all brands. Different rules. Our friends at UTVunderground.com, right on the front page, have all the rules, as well as a pretty cool teaser video on YouTube, but it's all posted up there at UTVunderground.com. Low entry fees for this event, decent payout, but it's going to be pretty crazy. It all starts happening this Friday and Saturday. Crested Butte Mountain Resort in Crested Butte, Colorado, and live stream, I believe, will be Friday and Saturday. So UTVunderground.com, TerracrossRacing.com are going to be your sources, for all the information on the event. But it's going to be a ton of fun up there in Colorado, and we're going to see how these RZRs act on the snow. studded tires. I mean, this is going to be cool. I mean, this is a first event of its kind anywhere, and I get a chance to be there. I know they're going to put me in one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to race, but I know I'm going to get to wheel one for a while, and I can tell you next Monday on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, I'm going to have tons of stories on this event. So it's going to be a lot of fun up there in Colorado. Definitely tune in to the live stream, all brought to you by Polaris RZR. And they're also, if you're not a UTV fan, I don't know if you're listening to this show how you can't be, but it's also an X Games qualifying event. The Ultimate Snowmobile are coming. They've got snowcross racing. They've got hill cross. And I guess all the hill climbs, hill cross is going to be qualifiers for the X Games next year on the snow side. So, we're going to have some awesome snowmobile racing in addition to, all the racing with the RZRs in the Winter Terracross. So, big, epic event all going down this weekend. UTVunderground.com, terracrossracing.com. And as well as my social media. I'll be tweeting it out, Facebooking, Instagramming it. I leave to head up there Thursday, and I'll be back on Sunday. But Friday, Saturday, it's all going down the live stream. Please tune in. It's going to be awesome. Like I said before, Terracross on one screen, get your Formula Drift on the other, get Jarod DeAnda and Ryan Sage yakking at you from one direction, me on the other. It's shaping up to be an awesome weekend for those of you that want to sit in front of your computer. So definitely get tuned into that. And that has been your Polaris RZR UTV news for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Polaris RZR. Don't forget their XP sales event happening right now, up to $1,400 in rebates and 1.99% financing on a new RZR. That leads us to our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And lots and lots of news coming up this weekend. First off, don't forget Desert 100 this weekend. Our friends at Dirtfish Rally, a sponsor of that. Also, Desert Storm Rally coming up this weekend, April 11th, Blythe, California. You Southwest Rally fans, you get a chance to go out there and check it out. Guess they've got a pretty decent entry list now. I know, it was a little slow to start out, but things have picked up now as the event got closer. And should be a great event, April 11th. You can find out more information. Bilstein's Southwest Rally Series is the series name. You can pull that up on the web and find out all the information about Desert Storm. They've also got a Facebook page with a lot of info. But Blythe, California this weekend, April 11th, not doing anything. Go out and check it out. I know a good friend Brent Lee, he's going to be out there and wheeling the R2 Fiesta, trying to go for that overall, and got quite a few drivers, looks like, scheduled in to appear at that event. So should be a good one. As far as results and racing, I want to talk about the Gazelles Rally, a little bit different type of rally, but we'll slide it in here to this Dirtfish Rally Report. I don't have the official results yet. Ami Houde has been doing a solid job of keeping everybody updated. Going into the final round, going into leg 6, which was the final leg, I think results should be out today. I haven't got a copy yet if they are, so I apologize. Once I went to air, I still didn't have official results. Remember, this isn't time-based. It's distant-based. So, it's not like saying, this person crossed the finish line first, they're the winner. It doesn't work that way. It's all about shortest distance between the checkpoints. Remember, they use a map and a compass. That's it. No GPS. So it's a little bit different type of rally. It's all about not how fast you go, but how precise you are. Going to give you a quick rundown of the American teams, though. Jessie Coombs, a lot of you know her, from King of the Hammers and her TV work. In the four-wheel drive, she was 10th overall. She was the lead American entry in the four-wheel drives. Team of Hahn and Hahn, 12th. Then we got Croft and Cahill sitting in 14th. Moving over to the crossovers, we got Chrissy Beavis and Allie Rowe from ESPN leading the crossover rankings. So big shout out to them. Let's hope they were able to walk away with a victory. I'm gonna have to reach out to Allie and see if we can get her on air. I think that'd be a solid interview for us to talk to her about this event. A lot of you know her from ESPN, but I think hopefully they walked away with a victory for the Americans in the crossover side. Side-by-side rankings, I know we had Sarah Price and the team of Price and Sachs. We had her on air month and a half ago. Looks like they're in the side-by-side, slated in at 7th overall. And then Howells and Lerner in the expert rankings, 14th overall. So it's, they had a couple of marathon legs. It's just it's a great event. Definitely Ami Houde have been a great ambassador for this event. And, so right now, those are your rankings until today. Obviously, they had the sixth and final leg, and that's completed now. We're just waiting on, on the event organizers to gather all the data and make an announcement. So, waiting on that, kind of pins and needles, but we'll see if some Americans can walk away with some victories here in their respective classes, particularly Chrissy Beavis. A lot of you know her from Rally America, Travis Pastrana's co-driver, and Ali Rowe from ESPN, the leaders going into the sixth and final leg in the crossover rankings. So that is your Gazelles update, and we'll have full results, and hopefully we can get Ali Rowe on air if they indeed are the winners of the event at some point in the next month or so. But always fun. On the WRC side, big news. Obviously, we're waiting on Argentina. Toyota, obviously a couple months ago, making the big announcement, returning to WRC in 2017, and they have been knee-deep in testing, and I got to tell you, man, this testing that they've been doing, a ton of testing, a lot of development. Development of this car began in 2014, and they got quite a few tests under their belt last year. I believe it's something like 15 tests they have slated for this year, 12 or 15 tests. I'm sorry, but this Yaris, it's ridiculously fast. They're signing a few drivers now, to test it, and they're looking at a debut in 2017, and I got to tell you. My thought is they could probably debut this thing in 2016, but Toyota deciding to do it in 2017, want an extra year to develop it, and I'm looking at how successful they've been so far, and I'm going, my goodness, man, I think these guys could. I think they could be competitive in 2016, but they really have their eyes set on Volkswagen. And they want to take down Volkswagen, and they're going to take an extra year to develop this car. Looks like they did 8 tests in 2014, 12 tests in 2015, and who knows what's going to happen in 2016. But I think with all that testing, my thought is man, just run the thing in 2016. I'm anxious for this. Toyota. It's been a long time. Since we've seen them in WRC, I'm excited to see them back. Let's just make it happen. Let's go out there and race. But Toyota, they're taking their time, and they said we will win events out of the box in our first year. So you WRC fans, definitely on the lookout. Storylines, obviously M Sport always solid, Volkswagen been dominant, but Toyota, they have their eyes set on Volkswagen. So let's hope that with them coming back in, that it helps bring some other manufacturers. You get Volkswagen, you get Toyota, obviously Hyundai. Let's hope Ford comes back with their factory effort at some point. And you can see a resurgence of manufacturers in WRC, which is desperately needing. Speaking of Hyundai, they're going to debut a new paddle shift system in Argentina in their World Rally cars. So. Permitted under the 2017 WRC regulations, Hyundai system brings the i20 into line with the Fiesta Polo and DS3 cars. So Neuville and Sordo, they're gonna be stepping up to the plate with this new system, and it should make the Hyundais a little bit more competitive. Shave hopefully couple seconds off stage times and make them a little more competitive. So Hyundai, bringing a knife to a gunfight, they're stepping up to actually bring in, bringing a gun to the fight now. But definitely one to look out for with Hyundai, debuting that, and just another storyline heading into Argentina, here in a couple of weeks. So good stuff on the WRC side, and like I said before, don't forget that. We've got the Desert Storm Rally coming up this weekend, and then also another big announcement. Ken Block, it's always a big deal to find out when Ken Block is gonna announce his schedule. Well, Ken Block has announced his schedule for the 2015 season. and kind of exciting. Ken is the only guy that can announce what races he's going to run and make a big deal about it, and that is Ken Block, But his 2015 race schedule, obviously, friend and family of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, we'll definitely give him a little plug here. But he's running the full Global Rallycross Championship, running some X Games, Austin. Then we've got New Zealand Rallies running 2 rounds of those into April, and then also the beginning of May. So it sounds like you can ship the car down there and then leave it so he can run back-to-back rounds down there. Him and Alex also on the stage rally front running 2 Rally America rounds, New England and Lake Superior in October. So sounds like New England. I've heard some pretty decent open class entries possibly running that round. So could be one of the big ones this year. So definitely be on the lookout for New England, July 17th and 18th. Also, he's throwing in a few Gymkhana events. Notably absent from his schedule, some WRC rounds. Obviously, it sounds like he's taking a year off from WRC with maybe filling with these New Zealand rounds. Kind of figured as much when he missed Mexico, which is one of his favorite rounds on the calendar. So, Block taking WRC off, and WRX, no World Rallycross events. You got to think maybe possibly could slide one of those into the calendar if one fits. Obviously, we know his calendars are subject to change once in a while, but yeah, that is Block's schedule for 2015, and that has been your Dirtfish Rally Report, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com, and if you're looking for that coupon code that I announce regularly here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, if you're not listening on our website, skip over to downanddirtyshow.com, look in our archives. I've got the coupon code right in there for those of you looking for 10% off a class at Dirtfish Rally School. That brings us to some Score Baja Sur 500 news, and it's been they've got races about a week and a half, 2 weeks away, and Trophy Truck Field. We've got total entries for this event sitting at 65, a little bit lower turnout. I think a lot of us kind of expected that running in southern Mexico, but I'm sure a lot of the Mexican national entries that run south down around Cabo will jump in at the last minute, but stacked Trophy Truck Field, obviously B.J. Baldwin, Tavo Vidosla, Rob Mack, Potts, Eugenio, Mark Post, and interesting to see his truck on the list as well. So it looks like he's possibly teaming up with Jesse Jones. Then we've got a few entries from down south. Then we've got Class 1, shorter entry list there, but quite a few entries there. Looks like 6 TT Spec entries there, about 5 Class 10 entries. Only a handful of 5/1600s, Class 19. Looks like it's a little short-handed for UTVs as well. But we got the usual suspects in pro motorcycle, Colton Udall and Ricky Brabeck. They're going to be battling for that trophy. And I got to tell you, they got a chance at the overall down there. I think, knowing this course is going to be sandy and whatnot, I think the bikes could have a legit shot at taking the overall. But Score, that is your entry list for the Baja Sur race. And it's coming up in just a couple of weeks. And that is your Score news for this week. But definitely be on the lookout for that. Score continuing to grow and always good things for them. And, it's been a great show so far. We're going to take one more short commercial break. This one a short one, I promise. When we come back, Ami Houde, she's going to be holding it down. We're going to be talking some Supercross, motocross, and got a couple of interesting topics we're going to drop on you guys this week with Ami Houde. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll be back after this short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, anywhere as possible with General Tire, KMC wheels like no other, and Gibson exhaust.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation, including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I am your host, Jim Beaver, and rocking and rolling. We've got about 30 minutes left in the show, and my sidekick, Ami Houde, is going to be calling in once again, and we're going to be talking who knows what, but gotta thank a lot of you guys. We're almost 350 entries in our KMC Wheels Fantasy Supercross, and I know we have a down week this week because of Easter holiday and things like that. So Supercross guys getting a week off, and you fantasy Supercross players, getting a week off. But we got a shootout, obviously giving away a set of KMC wheels to the winner. of the KMC Wheels Fantasy Supercross Challenge, and presented by the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and definitely good stuff, man. We're giving that set of wheels away, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, 350 entries, and playing weekly for this crown, it's pretty amazing. I think I was in it in the first week, and then after that, literally, I'm down in like 90th place now. Just crazy. I mean, I was in the top 15 week one, and then it was all downhill from there. But, I got to thank you fans. You guys, Down and Dirty Radio Show fans, are the best fans. And I got to thank KMC Wheels for helping out. Ami Houde, obviously, for helping out on that. We're in the home stretch now. And, who's going to win that set of wheels? I know a lot of you already tweeting me and Amy and telling us what wheels you want. Those of you in the top 5, shooting out. But a lot can happen, and it's going to go down to the wire in Vegas, it looks like, to see who claims that set of wheels from KMC Wheels. But been a great show so far. I mean, Jarod DeAnda, legend as far as, guys on the mic go in this industry, and a good friend of mine, and, just a solid dude kicking things off, talking about Long Beach. And then obviously Jason Caber with the Desert 100, talked a little bit of Winter Terracross, some Dirtfish Rally Report, lots of WRC news happening right now. And, as we roll into Argentina, and then, and then obviously we're going to talk some two wheels here in a second with Ami Houde, but great show. So shoot me those questions at JimBeaver15 if you got any questions for Amy or me on just about anything, man. You never know what kind of randomness you fans are going to come up with, and that's what I love, man. And just about anything I'll ask on air, if it's within reason. Always cool stuff. It's always fun, and and you fans, it's you are what make this fun. I've got to know a lot of you personally through social media and stuff like that, and and get to hear your feedback on the show, and always lots of feedback, and and you guys tell me who you want as guests on on air, and we try and book them, and it's been a great run, the past couple of years, and getting to grow and expand. And looks like we got Amy calling in right now. We'll see if we can pick her up. How's everything going, Amy?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good here. I know, we're just kind of talking about Easter weekend, and the show talked a little bit about the off time for Supercross. But I know Easter weekend you had a little fun at Power Sports show, right?
Yeah, I was at the 2015 Snowmobile show promoting next week's Power Sports show. Just trying to get people amped up and a little taste of what they might see. Had my new 2015 Honda from Honda Canada out there on display. But yeah, it was lots of fun, and got to meet a couple of future junior Red Riders. A lot of little kids love to sit on the bike, so it's pretty cool. Lots of fun. And it was a good weekend. I honestly probably ate my body weight in food this weekend. So, gotta hit the gym today.
Yeah, for sure. I got to ask you, you go to events like that, and, it seems like, in the past, especially the past 5-10 years, I mean, is my daughter, I mean, she's 6 and she's got herself a CRF 50, and she loves to go out in the desert and just wheel that thing. But I mean, do you feel like, little girls now, it used to be, you got to play with Barbies, you got to do this, you got to do that. And obviously all girls, do that still. But do you feel like in the past 5-10 years, I mean, these girls are looking at dirt bikes and going, hey, I want to do that, and they can. And it's like, it's become socially acceptable now for girls to play in the dirt.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when I was little, I was like the Barbies and the motocross as a little girl. I love Barbies. Honestly, I played with them a little bit too long. But I would always take my Barbies on adventures, and I'd bring them to the track and, tie them to ropes and make them bungee jump off my handlebars. Pretty funny. I was always extreme. But, no, I see so many more girls nowadays, picking up a skateboard, their parents getting them into BMX or dirt bikes. Anything now. It's really good to see little girls doing other sports rather than just ballet or gymnastics. But I do think it's really important that, I was a gymnast for 13 years. I was put into swimming and dance and stuff. And I think it's important to also, keep our femininity and still be, true to our roots, as females. But it doesn't mean that we can't go out there and, hop on a skateboard or a dirt bike. It's cool that we can do both. And now it's socially acceptable for us to do both things, to be a dancer and to be a motocross racer. And I think that's what's really cool is that, we kind of, we get to play both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that and being playing in the dirt or or whatever it is, but then on, and then keeping your femininity. I mean, on the flip side, we've got this big announcement. You and I were texting last night, and I wanted to touch on it, and I haven't talked about it at all today so far, but WEC, which is World Endurance Challenge, we don't cover it on this radio show. It's covers, they do long distance road racing, Le Mans and stuff like that, but they made a blockbuster announcement. I say blockbuster. I don't particularly agree with it, but it's making waves across the motorsports industry. No more grid girls. Doing away completely with the umbrella girls, the grid girls, models completely anywhere, trackside during the race. What's your take on this?
I mean, I don't know. From a female point of view, they're saying it's disrespectful to women and degrading. Well, the girls who sign up for that job, they don't think it's degrading. I mean, there's a line that every year I find, they try to push that boundary a little further and a little further of, sexier and sexier, which I think is wrong.
Yeah.
I believe that these brands and, companies like Red Bull and Monster Energy and Umbrella Girls, they are kind of pushing that boundary of what's classy and what's sexy. So, I think that's where, who should be in the wrong. But these girls, they're signing up for this job and, they're just out there doing their thing. It's no different than having a pretty girl out in the stand, maybe wearing a Honda t-shirt. What, are you going to ban a pretty girl from being at the track? I just think it's a little extreme. But I think it's the brand's responsibility to, watch the image that they're trying to represent. But since the beginning of time, there's always been a 30-second board girl or, the beautiful woman who drops the flag under, with the car racing under the bridge, like in Greece, whatever. It's always been that way. And I kind of like it. A lot of fans come to the races to watch racing, but to also go and meet Diana Dahlgren or get a photo with a Monster Energy girl. Like, that's always been kind of hand in hand with racing. But I do think it's important that these brands watch their image. I mean, the one brand I can think of particular that does it right is Red Bull. Their girls are always out there, fully dressed, and a lot of times they're wearing like beautiful gowns now. They have these blue gowns in MotoGP, really classy, doesn't show too much up top or too much down in the bottom. Which I sometimes think is the problem with Rockstar and Monster Energy. You just show too much skin, and it kind of takes away from what those girls are out there to do. It's distracting, and I can see why, parents or, like the moms and dads can find it offensive. But at the same time, I think it's an important part of racing and is having the promo models and the Monster Energy girls and the grid girls. But I do think they need to take a step back and kind of come back to the roots on being classy and classic and not slutty and trampy.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there's a there's a line there where you can keep it classy or go too far. And I know because we have models from time to time on this radio show, and we've had some monster girls in the past, and Caitlin Ansari, and I know even Danny Medine, who's a friend of mine, and she does reporting for Snowcross, and now she's got a deal where she's actually the TV host for AMA Flat Track. She's also kind of the model boss for the Amsoil girls, and she travels the country with Amsoil at not only Supercross but snowcross and stuff like that. And her, I mean, I look at her, and she was actually a professional snowcross racer. And she hurt her back really bad, and the doctor said if you have one more bat off, you could be paralyzed. You need to quit snowcross racing. It was heartbreaking to her, but she was a gymnast like you, and and a dancer, and and she was physically fit. She just has a back injury, so her way to stay involved in motorsports was, okay, I can't race, but I want to be at the events. I know all these people. So they brought her in as an Amsoil girl. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking at somebody like that, and I know my friend Andrea Pathiakis, she races short course. She kind of does the same thing with Lucas Oil. And I'm looking at these ladies who are not bad to look at, but they're racers. I mean, they know how to ride a bike. You talk about Diana Dahlgren. I know she can wheel a dirt bike.
Yeah, what people don't understand is, it's also kind of empowering. Like, obviously sex sells, but a smart, sophisticated lady who rides a bike, rides a sled, knows what they're doing, but also, it's easy on the eyes. I mean, they're going to sell things like selling ice to polar bears. I mean, to have a well-rounded girl who, looks good, can play the model part, can play the racer part, can speak well about the brand, kind of have a full package deal. And, not every promo model can ride, but, I mean, to be involved, you have to have an interest in the sport. And, I don't know. Like, I just don't know what, why they kind of made that choice. Like, I can understand, again, with it kind of pushing the boundaries, but I think they're kind of taking away from the bigger picture here. And I don't think it's as bad as they're making it out to seem. It's pretty stupid. It kind of bothers me. I mean, I like doing promo modeling if I'm not racing. Like, I like to be able to be out at the event and, represent my brand that I'm involved with. And it's empowering for me. I enjoy it. And I feel like I'm making a difference and I'm, playing a role. So, I don't know. I just think, maybe that decision will change in the future.
Yeah. Well, see, and I'm different. I mean, I completely agree with you. And I'm like, you know what? The guys get, Diana Dahlgren holding up a 30-second board. All right, women's motocross, women's endurocross. Get a dude out there with no shirts that, has a six-pack and let him hold up a board. I don't care.
Totally agree. And one time at the Canadian Nationals, we actually had that. We had a hot guy come out with no shirt on and, ripped, and I think they oiled him down and or whatever. But, I mean, the girls loved it. And it just kind of adds a little bit of character. But, I kind of like the fact that it is, the women that everyone all goes at this type of event. It's empowering for women. Like, we should be proud that, we have that opportunity. I don't know. I just completely play the other side of the fence. I'm completely on the other side. And I just think, I like the promo models there. I think it completely adds to the whole experience of racing. I mean, it's getting to the point where brands maybe are competing with one another on, Monster versus Rockstar for, who wears less and who's the hottest. I don't know, but there seems to be a little bit of internal rivalry there. But, I don't know. Maybe there's just too many promo models. I'm not too sure. I really like the Monster Energy girls. They're kind of iconic. All of them by name. They're at every event. You see the same girls all the time. And, I don't know. I just, I like it. Again, it totally adds to the whole atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, you keep it classy. I bring my family to events. I take my daughter to events, and and my thing is you need to make it acceptable for a 6-year-old girl to be able to see, or a 6-7-year-old boy. You know what I mean? If you've drawn that line where you feel uncomfortable having them around, then you've gone too far. You still need to make you can have some sex appeal, but keep it so so kids aren't kids are still welcome. And I think I've been at motorsports events where they've pushed past that line, and I wouldn't have been comfortable with my daughter. But I think you got to look at the big picture. You don't want to start isolating people too, and you shouldn't make it where you see anything more than me taking her to the beach, Well,
you have to realize, like, this is a family sport. I mean, most people who are here are actually kids. The racing community is families and there's, parents with their kids. That's who comes to the races. It's not all like 25 to 35-year-old men. I mean, a lot of these are little boys and little girls. So brands need to recognize that and, step up and, they're obligated, they should be obligated to follow some type of rules or regulations on, what their promo models can and can't wear. Funny story, though, I'm not going to say where and I'm not going to say, too much about it, but back in the day, my family and I, we went to a national race, and I was a little bit younger. I think it was one of my first years in big bike. They were doing the podium presentations, and the promo girls, in particular, there was a specific brand of energy drink, I'll say that, but the girls were wearing almost little to nothing on the podium, and I believe they were wearing skirts. And I think one of the girls was not wearing anything under the skirt. Well, when you're on top of a 5-foot podium and you're standing up there and all these little kids are peeking over looking underneath the skirts, my mom walked over to one of them and was like, "You gotta go put some clothes on, my dear." And yeah, that's what happened.
Nice.
But honestly, I'm like, girl, give your head a shake. Like, there's kids here, and what do you think you're doing? So I don't know. The Monster girls kind of have it down. I know they kind of value their position as a full-time career and a job, and they kind of follow some good rules. I like when the Monster Girls wear the tight, like, leather pants and, the kind of long-sleeve shirts with that cut off in the midsection. Like, that looks okay. But I don't really like the preteen size skirts. They're just, pushing the limits. But if you do it right, it's all good.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say.
For sure. So I know, obviously no Supercross, no motocross this weekend, but I know you do have a little bit to talk about, some FIM motocross. I know, obviously, America's own Ryan Villapoto, he's been doing battle there in the world ranks.
Yeah, no, I mean, the FIM World Championships are going strong. We're already 3 rounds in, which is huge. I mean, it starts so much quicker than it does here in, U.S. or Canada. So it's really cool to, start watching those. We buy a subscription online and we tune in every weekend, me and my family. So it's really, really good racing. It's super fast-paced. I mean, every track is fifth gear wide open, a really different style of riding compared to the AMAs and in Canada. Everybody rides the edges and you kind of what we call ride the walls. I mean, when I was over there racing, I got to race in France at Saint-Jean-d'Angely and in Belgium. And, I mean, I went to these tracks kind of thinking I was, ready for a Unadilla style or, a Hangtown National. But you go to these tracks, and it's a completely different style of riding. There's no berms. They're literally, like, I don't know how to call it, edges dug down so that you're riding a wall. Like, it's like a wall berm. It's crazy. It's super, super fast-paced. But it's such an experience. If you can have the opportunity to go over there and watch a world championship, it is so worth it. Just to see all the countries come together and, it's a lot of these races are central to, surrounding countries. So all these people come in their country colors and flags, and it's just so patriotic, and it's a really, really cool experience. And there's lots of chainsaws. Everybody, instead of blowhorns, have chainsaws. So it's cool.
Well, in talking about it, I know a lot of people, here, I've paid attention to, when they have, is it the motocross, the Race of the Nations type of thing.
Nations, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like that every weekend, though. I mean, with all the, patriotism going around there, like you see at the Nations, that's almost every weekend at an MXGP race. Like, that's how cool the atmosphere is.
Yeah, and talking about that, I know, I've watched and to be honest with you, U.S. teams in past have kind of struggled at that event, and I think everybody, Villapoto was on another level when he was running Supercross and motocross here in the States. I think everybody assumed he was going to go over there and immediately just dominate everybody, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I
knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Their level of riding over there and just the different, like I said, the different riding styles, I knew it was going to be a challenge for him right off the get-go. I think it's going to take him a little while, and he'll be able to put it all together. But, I mean, it's a stacked series. That is the world's fastest riders, racing the world championships. And, a lot of people thought it was going to be Villapoto against Caroli, when really, I mean, there's some other guys like Clement Saul and Max Nagel who are, kind of came from nowhere, very well-known riders, but nobody really thought that they were going to be winning when you have Villapoto and Caroli in the mix. So this just really shows you what the level of playing field is, that these two top racers who are the world's fastest guys out there aren't even winning right now. So it just goes to show what you got playing over there.
Yeah, well, and I'm thinking, obviously Villapoto, he's taken a win. I mean, he's struggled though. He's had some, seventh, eighth, seventh place finishes, and stuff. So he's not all podiums he's taking. He did get an event, I believe one race win. Ended up getting the overall by like a point or something like that. But looking forward, I'm looking at this going, okay, we took our best guy, arguably our best guy, and took him over there, and he's competitive. Obviously, he's in it for the points championship, and I think he's going to get better as the year goes on. But I'm looking at it going, here's a lot of guys that most Americans don't know about, and they're beating Ryan. I'm like, I would love to see them at some point, transfer over and do the same thing, run Supercross or run our outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of those guys, I mean, they don't have a Supercross series over there in Europe. They have, the one race in Germany and one of the other ones that they go over early on, but they don't have like a AMA Supercross series. They don't have a Supercross series over there, so a lot of them don't even bother with Supercross. It's just not something on their schedule. I mean, they have an 18-round outdoor series that is, as fast-paced as anything. It's just extremely crazy over there. Why would you bother racing Supercross when you have an outdoor series that's just that intense? So, I mean, a lot of those guys don't really see Supercross as something that they want to do, especially for the 450s. A lot of the young guns, I know Jeffrey Hurlings really wanted to come over and race Supercross before he had got injured last year. It was on his to-do list, but unfortunately, he broke his leg and it was a bit of a setback. But, no, I mean, I would like to see more of our guys kind of go over there and try it out too, but it really does show that, we are sending our fastest guy, well, not me technically because I'm Canadian, but you guys down there, the deep south, yeah. You guys are sending one of your top riders over there. And yeah, I mean, he's consistent. I don't think he has it all together yet. He is, he's saying he hasn't really figured the bike out yet. He's not really happy with the bike setup. Again, you're completely adopting a new style of riding. The bike setup is going to be completely different to form to that, and it's just, you're almost starting over from scratch. So, and a lot of these guys, they've been doing it forever. They've been racing that series for a long time. So you have a lot of seasoned vets who, know those tracks. And yeah, it's a long series. So I do think he's going to be able to put, the pieces together and have some podium wins for sure. But, Clement Stahl has been extremely consistent, and Max Nagel having a couple of wins as well. Those are some heavy hitters and some top racers, and I think they're hungry to beat Caroli as well. A lot of these people, Caroli is the one to beat, not necessarily Villopoto. Caroli has been he's a 8th-time champion, world champion. I think he has 2 250 titles and 6 450 titles. I mean, a lot of the Europeans are out to beat Caroli. So, yeah, we'll see how this season shakes up, and we should kind of stay tuned with it because it's going to be really interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think, and do you see this as just a one-and-done deal for Villopoto, or do you think we may see him run a couple years over there, now that he's into it and, getting a feel for things? So I look at it something like, this is something totally different to him, and it'd be, it's a different type of racing. I could see him, needing a couple-year investment to actually, take a championship there.
Oh, I agree, too, because Villopoto is the kind of man who won't quit until he is number one, until he's dominant and, winning everything. And, basically the challenge is defeated and he's, won his speed and won the game. But right now, he has to put the pieces together. He's not winning everything. And I do think that he is going to have a hard time winning the championship this year. And yeah, I do see him racing this series for a few years until he, again, becomes the dominant player and he's the one to beat. So, and he says he really enjoys the atmosphere and he likes the series and he likes all the people and he's really enjoying his time there, which just means that, he'll probably stick around for a while. And I mean, how can you complain? You're going to Thailand and Argentina and Germany and France. I mean, the cool thing about the GPs is you get to experience all these different countries and cultures, and it's just like a never-ending vacation. I mean, with working on the weekend and during the week, but it's a really, really cool experience. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why he would ever want to come back after being there. Yeah. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and how was the reception when you went over there and raced in Europe? I know you. It's still, I think you're the only Canadian female to ever go and run the World Championship, right? There
yeah.
In Europe.
I mean, it's a really, really fast-paced. I got my butt kicked. I know if I kind of hunkered down and trained a little harder, but a lot of those girls are extremely young. They're 16, just a fresh 18 years old, just killing it. But I mean, a lot of these girls dedicate their whole lives to racing the World Championships, just like the men. It's a whole new level of racing compared to the AMA level. I hate to say it, but and they have a full gate. I mean, there's 30 girls lined up every weekend. It's crazy. But no, it'd be really cool to have a U.S. and a Canadian and a few other of the North American people go over there and try to run their series. But it's really expensive. I mean, to ship a bike or to find a team, and, you know, when you throw in, you know, exchange rate and everything, it's a really expensive thing to do for a girl, and you need to be invested in 100% and be fully committed to be able to do it. So for me, my idea is to just pick a round or two and go for 2 rounds instead of do the whole series. But again, you never want to go to just finish top 10. You want to go to be competitive and, you know, finish top 5. So it's a big investment and a big time commitment. But it's well worth it. I mean, I met so many friends, and it's a really different kind of culture in the pits opposed to the AMA, like Pro Nationals, where most of the pits are kind of blocked off by a foot barrier, and you can't even get close to the riders, and you got to wait in these huge lines, and you know, no one's really social. Everyone stays in their trailer and stuff. But I mean, at the GPs, you got Tony Caroli and Jeffrey Hurlings all zipping around on their scooters, hanging out, talking to people, high-fiving people. Like, it's a really cool environment. I find it's a more almost like local level racing, where it's kind of a big family and community. Everyone's having big dinners. I mean, that's the European way, is family and community, and you really get that full experience there at a GP. So, I mean, that's what I love about racing. I love the community about it. So it's definitely a little bit more my taste.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, talking about community and kind of that atmosphere, I know, you know, looking forward to next show. I believe we got one of your friends going to be calling in your segment, right?
Yeah, my friend, a good friend here from Winnipeg, Amber Balkan. She is a dirt track racer. You know, she was the first Canadian to race the NASCAR Diversity, and she's really trying to make her transition into asphalt racing, and she's testing some ARCA cars, doing tons of stuff in the four-wheeled world, but I'll let her talk about it because she knows a little bit more, and she can tell you all about the cool stuff coming up. But no, she's a good friend of mine. Our families actually grew up together. She's, you know, very similar life like me, comes from a family of racing where her dad is a really well-known and well-respected stock car racer here, and she's an only child, so she's the only girl kind of following in her dad's footsteps and, you know, trying to take after his legacy. So it's really cool. She's doing a lot of cool things and is a great girl, so she'll have lots of fun stuff to say. But we also filmed a video called Racer Chasers. Look it up on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. The title speaks for it all, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's up to like 200,000 views, and it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, anytime you put out any videos, it's always pretty comedy. I think that's how we got linked up together was through a video that somebody had sent me, and I'm like, I got to reach out to this girl, you know, and the rest is history, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, this is about this is probably one of the funniest videos that I've ever done. So again, Racer Chasers, look it up on YouTube. It's starring me and Amber Balkan. But we kind of touch on some of the girls you see at the track on the 4-wheel and 2-wheel side of the industry. But it's pretty good. Check it out.
All right, definitely will do. Well, we're about ready to wrap things up here on another Monday, but always appreciate you taking the time to call in, Amy, and we'll talk with you next Monday.
It sounds awesome. And next week, I think, is my first time I'm going to be able to head out to one of our best tracks here, where I think it's our second round of the Manitoba Series, Grunthal, and I'll be able to put in some good laps, test out my new suspension, and get my bike all ready and dialed in. So I can't wait. It's supposed to be 18 degrees here. I have no idea what that is Fahrenheit. Probably like, I don't know, 45, something like that. But that's a heat wave over here. So I'm going to get myself out at a track this weekend and have some fun.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to hearing about it. Thanks a lot, Amy, and we'll talk with you next week when you bring Amber Balkan on air with you.
Sounds awesome. Well, you have a good day, and stay good.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, that was Ami Houde, our resident Supercross, motocross expert racer, and holding down the last half hour like she always does. And, big surprise, Amber Balkan going to be calling in next Monday with Ami Houde. Those of you who don't know Amber, check her out. Dirt track racer, sprint car driver, NASCAR racer. I mean, this girl can flat wheel a stock car or a sprint car, but she's done a lot of stuff with Amy, and we don't normally branch out into the asphalt and pavement stuff, but Amber Balkin, we're definitely going to make an exception. She's solid gold and a hell of a female driver, so looking forward to having her on air. Her pedigree and her track record speaks for itself. You can definitely check that out, and she's definitely worth following on social media. But this has been the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and man, it's been a great show. Upcoming events, obviously Supercross back on track. We got Formula Drift, Lucas and Torque, Baja Sur, Stadium Super Trucks, World Rally Championship, the Desert Storm Rally coming up this weekend, Winter Terracross. I will be hosting that this weekend from Crested Butte, Colorado. You definitely want to tune into that live stream, be watching my social media. I'll post up all the times and links for that. And lots of great guests coming up, including Ami Houde once again, obviously, and Amber Balkin. She'll be on air next week in Amy's segment. Lots of other great drivers I've got lining up. Got to give a big shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island, which is now officially open, JMR Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels, like no other, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Check them out at mtx.com, and they can definitely change the way you listen to sound. And Intense Tees, the official clothing provider of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show. And download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And once again, shoot me an email or tag me on Twitter and let me know. You got any guests? Get a hold of me and let me know who you'd want to see on air. We'll see you this weekend on the live stream from Terracross in Crested Butte, Colorado. Hope you have a great week and had a great Easter weekend. As always, game on.